Good evening, friends. Welcome, 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 welcome. Tuesday night. Here we are at the Sportatorium having the time of our life. Let me say this, and I'm going to let it go. Please like this. That's all. I'm getting a lot of stuff. You should tell people that they should like it. They know to like it. No, they don't. They forget. Okay, I'll tell them. All right. So please like this. It helps us tremendously. As you know, as the great, the illustrious Queen Candace is approaching 6 million. I'm looking at a very, very tidy 400K coming up. Yeah, I'll take them. And I'm doggone proud of it, my friends. I earned every bit of it, as did she. So with your help and the good Lord, we might be able to make it. I thank you so much for that. My friends, tonight, there's just so much. I don't even know. I can't. I have so much I want to say. And I don't know if I can say it and sound remotely clear. But do you see what is happening right now? And I don't even know where to start. What do we say? What do we say about our friend Erika? Let's just start with this. We have to do it. When is it going to just close? When are they going to just close shop? When are they going to say, all right, that's enough. Look, we just can't take it. Erika, look, honey, we appreciate your time, but you can't. You're killing it. These people mock you. You're driving these people crazy. You can't even accept an award. You can't even go to Hillsdale College and say thank you and get your ass off the stage without causing a problem. Because you got to make some bullshit story up about how Charlie on his honeymoon was doing a class and you and this. It's like you just look, we've tried, honey. We've tried so hard and for so long. You just don't get it for reasons we will never understand. And maybe it's kind of like a death wish or something. Maybe not a death wish, I say, but a political death wish or a career death wish. Maybe it's something you just don't know you're doing. But you're not bright. You don't know what's going on. And people are laughing at you. And it doesn't make a good combination. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And these other people, whoever these jadruls are on the Charlie Kirk show, I swear to God, they are the worst. You can't say that, but if you took those little boys who speak at the Charlie Kirk show and you put any other title underneath it as a joke, for example, alternative lifestyle, whatever, people would say, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm not saying, I can't say it. You know what I'm saying. It's the most wimpish, fey, impuissant, atesticular, invertebrate, just this wussified, sissified. It's the worst. Absolutely, positively. Why do they do it? Don't they understand? And this may be probably this may just sound like mean, but Charlie, you can say one thing about Charlie. You might have thought, how do I say this? You might have thought a lot of things about him. You might have thought, well, I never got the impression he was a wimp. And I never got the impression he was anything but a kind of a straight up guy. You know what I mean? Red-blooded. Just an American guy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I just never thought he was anything but that. Nothing fancy, nothing just I just thought he was a straight kind of a guy. And I don't get that feeling from watching the other folks. You know what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? A good friend, Rumpelgold, says, well, I know you make me so happy. Thank you. Wussified is my new favorite word. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that immensely. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, do they know? Do you think they know anything? Do you think somebody would say, we can't do this? They're supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be these Christian, right wing, and you've got these. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with any particular lifestyle, and I'm not accusing anybody of being such. I'm not doing that. But what I'm saying is, does anybody know how they're coming across? You've got these little boys who are yammering nonsense. You've got this dingbat with a Rapunzel with the hair extensions that look like they were run over. I don't even know what they are. I don't even know what the look is. Does she get up? Does these stupid, like Candace calls them, the bridal shot? I don't know. Then today I did an important story. I said it would be absolute legal malpractice if it would be legal malpractice if, hear me out, if Tyler's legal team did not enlist the help and the assistance of Baron Coleman. His latest review, these aren't deep dives. I've never heard anything like this. I mean, I haven't seen JFK assassination stuff this thorough. Have you? It is unbelievable. It blows my mind. I've never seen anything like it. It's if you sat there, and you can please watch my piece of this, because I went through it pretty much. If the jury listens to this and say they can't even get it straight, how the hell is Tyler theoretically confessing on Discord after he's been arrested, after he's turned himself into the police and isn't talking to the police? He's going to go on Discord. None of this stuff makes any sense. None of it makes any sense. If the jury hears that, they're going to say, I don't know what to believe. I don't know. And I'm getting these emails from, one email and one comment from people that says, who do you people think you are? One guy, who is this guy? Tactical, schmactical, whatever it is, who's calling Barron some half-assed lawyer? I don't even know what he's talking about. They say, don't you understand? Can't you just accept the word, the final, the opinion, the final opinion of the police? No. You mean like the police that said that Epstein harmed himself? You mean like that? No. One guy sent me something. It was so, he said, I'm a lawyer too, and I'm embarrassed. I say, oh my God, I don't want you near me. A criminal defense lawyer is trying to find reasonable doubt, and this guy's saying, why don't you just accept it? Why don't you just accept it? What Barron did, and I want to say this very, very carefully, is not legal analysis, though there are legal implications. It's not legal research, it's fact. As I made it clear, the jury is the trier of fact. They don't care about law. They don't care about appellate precedent. They don't care about Supreme Court case. Remember when you say, did you shepherdize it? They don't care whether it was overturned, nothing. They don't. The jury only determines the fact and the facts. And the jury says, we believe or don't believe in the witness that's testifying. Maybe the witness that's testifying, we don't believe a word they're saying. A jury can listen. For example, let's say this jury were to listen to, let's say, Erika Kirk. And Erika Kirk says, we did this, we did this, we did this. They could listen to her and say, we're not believing a word. We don't believe a word she's saying, and we're going to reject it. Let me say it again. The trier of fact can say we reject it, or can give her less credibility than this other witness. Olivia says, I was gobsmacked with the timeline. Absolutely. And let me say this again. That is a factual research. The jury hears that. The jury wouldn't hear legal research in terms of cases and precedent. It wants to know the fact. The jury also wants to say, which confession do you want to believe in? Do you want to believe the first one where they said, he said, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in, it was this fellow named Sam Peters or something who did it. And then Project Constitution is another one. There's some wild stuff. It's not always right, but you know what? Listen, go ahead. Go ahead. Please keep doing this. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody, not even the people who were trying to put him in prison. They don't even care. They just don't care. So what this is Barron saying, this is the timeline when today Candace is doing the tail numbers on this plane and that. That's not legal research. That's factual research. That is this plane. Tyler turned himself in at 12:33. That's fact. It's not legal. It's not a legal analysis. That's a factual analysis. That is what gets you not guilty. The facts, not the law. There's no law here. There's no law. If I say to that jury, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, based upon the evidence you've heard, can you say that you don't have a reasonable doubt as to whether the state of Utah proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt? No, we don't. Then fine, he's not guilty. Do you have a reasonable doubt? Yeah, he's not guilty. That's it. We don't have to prove anything. Rumpelgold says in 2023, I campaigned for Vivek Ramaswamy in Iowa. Charlie joined us for 2 weeks. I didn't know him then. I dismissed him as just somebody who chats with college students. Now I get it. Indeed. By the way, Vivek, have you seen this thing about what is going on? And I don't get involved in everything, but this business about Nick Fuentes and I'm sorry, Massey or don't become confused by that which doesn't matter. Let me give you a little bit of advice here. This is not a soap opera. Remember in the old soap operas, you might not remember this, but in the old days they said, when we last left our heroine or whatever it was, Rachel, John, so-and-so, and John Dwight met with, and it was the latest travails. It was like, oh, she said this or she said that. A lot of times this stuff is really kind of not, it's interesting, but it's not critical. You've got to be able to say what's important and what's not, what's critical and what's not. What's critical and what is not. So it's fun. Don't get me wrong. Oh, listen, some of this stuff, I'll be honest with you. Some of the stuff that it's just fun to just watch Erika make a damn fool out of herself. Seriously. I know this may sound stupid. I'm not a hair person. What's with their hair? What is this stuff? What is this rat's nest? What's going on with this? I don't understand what's going on here. One minute she's got the like Candace says, the bridal look. She's looking out the window. Next thing she looks like she woke up and I don't understand. What is her point? What is her point? So that's something which is important. The facts of the case. And what I want to do is I want to get to the part about the closing. I want to argue the closing. I don't want, I mean, it's, if you want to talk about this, and it's important and it's critical, but it's like, I'll let Baron do the part about the timeline. I just want to get to the very simple fact. It's so simple because you got to keep it very simple. You don't want to confuse. By the way, if you confuse them, that's good because they'll just say, you know what, I'm just giving up. I don't even know the hell. I'm going to find the guy not guilty. I can't even follow what the hell you're saying. This case is so complicated. In fact, you can also create the illusion that the case has become complicated because of the fact that, there's this stuff going on. Anyway, it comes down very simply to this. Ladies and gentlemen, you're being asked by that prosecutor over there to go back into the jury room. And he wants you, now get this, he wants you to return a verdict of guilty. And you're going to ask the question, but how? Why? Well, we don't know. Is there a gun? No. The ATF report showed it's not linked to anything. Could be, might be. It's not linked. They went crazy. Remember when the ATF report first came out and people came forward and they said, well, just because it says it wasn't connected doesn't mean it was connected. What? We're not even sure if it was ever fired within the past 50 years. We don't know any of this. We don't know any of this because the dogs didn't even pick it up. The dogs could smell a fish fart. You've heard me say this a million times. The dogs never picked up on the fact that there was a rifle there in the first place. Wow. Do you hear what I'm saying? Wow. The rifle, the murder weapon. Not connected. The lint brush. The lint brush is not connected either. The lint brush hadn't fired no projectile, is not able to be detected as having fired a projectile or fired in the past 25 years, is capable of fire. That's their rifle. And they want you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to go back there and to say, yeah, now this is provided, of course, A, it's got to be inadmissible. It's got to be because there's no connection. B, or 2, whatever the number is, there has to be a motion in limine to even prevent them from discussing the rifle. Either way, go ahead. You want to introduce the rifle? Great. I'm going to call the medical examiner. Dr. Lipschitz, yes. Did you find a 30-06 cartridge? Well, no. A 30-06, it would hit here. What would it do in terms of the percussive power, the kinetic energy? What would it do to the head? Would you like, we're going to put some exhibits on. This is if it still comes in, if you can't keep it out. Oh, I'm going to put on some, I'm going to show them. I'm going to bring experts. This is a steer's head. This is pardon me, folks, this is a head of a steer. Big, thick skull, big steer. So if it is the rifle, are you telling me, doctor, that rifle shot him? Made a little hole, hit his cervical, his C2, went down to C7 because he has these titanium strength cervical bones? Are you kidding me? Do you mean that, sir? Do you really mean that? Do you mean that? No. So the jury's going to hit there and say, they've got a rifle that wasn't fired. Nobody can feel it was fired. That would have, it'd be like a bazooka that left a little hole here. So there's doubt upon doubt upon doubt upon doubt upon doubt. However you look at it, there is nothing that said, yep, that rifle was fired. The projectile, the bullet from that rifle we took, either in a fragment case. Somebody even mentioned frangible. There was no frangible evidence. There was no evidence of that. Then we get into, and this is where Barron comes in, then we get into the second part is a confession, because he never confessed to the police, and he confessed to Discord, his gay lover, girlfriend, boyfriend, it thing, whatever, Luna, Junebug, whatever her name, nobody else. That's where Barron comes in with the facts of this timeline as to when he spoke to the police, what he said, what he didn't say. And the jury's going to say, what the hell's going on here? What is happening? And we get emails. CK was an intellectual. Pondered life intensely. Yes. And you know what? And he married. Do you ever had anybody in your family who married somebody and you thought, what the hell is this guy thinking? Did Charlie, what did he talk to her about? What did he, you have to be able to talk. And then Charlie, I say, Charlie, tell me about Benjamin Franklin. What? Tell me about Benjamin Franklin. You're so smart. You're so smart, Charlie. Tell me about Benjamin Franklin. I don't want to talk to you about Benjamin Franklin. Why don't you read a book? I don't read, Charlie. Charlie, Erika don't read. Erika Purdy. I'm Purdy girl. I pose. I'll pose for you. I'll pose. I'm a poser in many respects. Poseur. What did they? I don't understand it. Every now and then somebody will say, hey, did you hear about that guy? So-and-so, yeah. Boy, that Robert Kraft going out with those young girls. You know why they're going out with the young girls, right? For the money. It's for the money. He's buying them. You know, I mean, it's just, and I used to always say, does he? Yeah, but she's a 20-something-year-old girl. Dude, is he gonna talk to her? He's with her all the time. Bill Belichick and that nutcase. Oh, that's another one. Bill Belichick's girlfriend reminds me a little bit about Erika. A little bit. What did they say? I would go crazy if I had to be with a numbnut to say, what are you going to do? Well, she's really, how much sex can you have? No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to, I know you're going to say something funny. How much can you have when you say, okay, all right. What? How many times before you say, what am I doing here? 50, 100, 3, 30? I don't know. I'm dead serious. What do you do? You're going to spend the rest of your life with this? Does he know what she did? You're not only, I don't know if you're a gold digger. I don't know what you are. You're just this poser. You're this pretend thing. What are you? And now you're, to me, it's blasphemous. You're taking the name of the Lord. Jesus, the only people I talked to with was my pastor. Oh, stop that shit. You didn't talk to your pastor. I don't believe any of this stuff. Would you tell the truth? Just tell me a story you didn't make up on the site. I believe it. I know you believe it because you're so delusional. You say stuff and I think you believe it. But what did they talk about? This woman is just, every time I see her, it's like she's more stupid than I thought. She's even more stupid than the last time I talked to her. Then I think, damn, she's stupid. She's a bag of rocks. She's just, everybody else knows it. You saw the picture of Pat Sajak, right? So, as I was saying, God bless Barron. Please say, let's talk about, and by the way, folks, what's interesting about Barron's point too, if they're in essence lying about the facts about who said what and when, what aren't they lying about? People are tired of being lied to. People are tired of being lied to. They just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. Don't keep lying to me. That's all people want to know. It's really not, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. And that's what people are saying. And we can get really into a lot, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. We really get into some great stuff, some real interesting minutia about, whatever, but we don't need that. I don't need anything at all except doubt. That's all I want to do. I just want doubt. I want the jury to say, I can't find him guilty. I've got too much doubt. I'm not even sure he was. I mean, I don't know what he was doing there. Being there is not but it implies being there, yes. I don't even know I don't know what he did. How am I going to find this guy guilty when I don't even know about the weapon or what it was used? What? And we haven't even heard what he has to say. Can you imagine if he testified, if I said, listen to me, Tyler, you better listen and listen good, my friend. This isn't law now. This is fact. This is trial law. This is just putting on a show. This is your life on the line. It's not a law case. You're not going to bring in a Southern Second or some, West Publishing volume. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to sit there and have that jury say, I'm not a whiz bang. I'm not a genius, but I'm not a murderer. I was there. And why I was there? Stupid. Maybe somebody told me. What? You don't know what he's going to say. What if there was somebody who lured him, who wanted him to be there? Somebody who promised him something. Somebody who maybe, you don't know what. Because remember, I'm going to say this. He's not supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be here. Let me say it again. It's very important. He's not supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be alive. He's not supposed to be here. So they never had to worry about what he was going to say, what he thought, what he was doing there. They're going to say, well, he was there and that's it. We'll never know. Or, and it's still possible, something very untoward happens in his cell, some moment of depression that comes over him. They'll do anything. So these stories, so you don't know what he's going to say. And they're not going to let him. They're going to say, I'll tell you what, some guy came up to me. I talked to somebody who was with the FBI, or I was talking to, I don't know. Who knows? His lawyer's not going to say anything. But the thing is that let me go back to what I was saying. If those lawyers don't pick up the phone and say, send Mr. Coleman, yes, may we see you? You don't have to testify. You don't have to be co-counsel. You can just be like somebody who reviews medical records. You could be just like a paralegal. You don't have to put a paralegal on the stand. They put together the files. They collate everything. They tabulate it. They say, go here, 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 and here. Here's all the information. Here's the story. Here's the evidence. Here's the case. Here's what you need to know. And what's really fascinating is ChatGPT or AI or AI. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is one of the most wonderful things you can take all of the statements, everything Here, give me. Oh, I know what somebody was saying. Somebody actually sent me something, an email that said, or a comment that said, if he's not guilty, why does he need so much time to review his case? I shit you not. Somebody said, I think it was a lawyer too. Well, what does he need time for? 12 million boxes to see what they've got? You don't think I need time for? They deliberately do. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. Let me tell you something. Have you met people who just hate Candace just because they hate her? They just hate her. They hate her, and we don't know. I said, well, what's your problem? Who does she think she is? She's a fraud. Why is she a fraud? I don't know. She's a fraud. They hate her. Why do they hate her? It's the strangest thing. We have people in this country, people in our land, who just hate. They're filled with the spirit of I don't know what. It's vile, this hatred of theirs. Why do they do this? What's their point? What do you think Candace's real point is? What is she trying to do? To be a troublemaker? She just loves killers? Or no. She's the only one even worrying about Charlie. And that ditz wife of his, I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she wants. Where I don't understand any of it. I don't understand anything. Why is there this hate? Why doesn't she get any help? Why? Where's Kash Patel? Did you see this petulant little bitch on the stand today acting like that? Did you see this? This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in my life. It was like when Pam Bondi was giving people, well, the stock market's up. It's like, what are you? Who are these people? It's like, am I is this a parallel universe? What's going on here? What's going on here? Don't tell me that lawyer representing Tyler, or lawyers, I think there's 3 of them, nobody said, listen, not for nothing, but is there anything about this you can find? Yes. We don't have the wherewithal. They're not interested in, they're not, remember they're given a certain allotment. I don't know if there must be court appointed. They're given a certain allotment. I don't know if it must be court appointed. In any event, you're not going to use up all your time going through statements like Barron did. Why wouldn't you want to say what he said? If you were in order to be a competent witness, you just have to have information. You have to have seen it, smelled it, observed it, remember it, be able to recall it, and just be under oath. But Barron's not even going to be a witness. He's not a witness. He's just telling you what happens here. Can you imagine if this guy walks? Do you have any idea of what would happen? Think about this. If he walks not guilty, I don't know what people would do. I don't know. I don't know what they would do. I think they would lose their minds. And you're saying, but why? What is your thing? Why do you want him to be found guilty? What is it? They can't tell you. They can't argue. They can't explain to you the level of their hatred. My friends, you can call this whatever you want. Some people call it Satan. I don't want to go into the Satan thing, but I will tell you this. There's something very, very unnatural about this. It's this crowd mentality. It's this hatred. It's this, I don't know what the word is. It's this scrums, they're like murmurations, when starlings fly and those beautiful movements, they're called murmurations because of the sound of it's almost like a murmur. And that's Le Bon and crowd theory and that sort of thing. And I think that's a part of it. And I always ask the question, What is it that motivates them? What is the hate? What is the anger, the angst, the whatever you want to call it? Now, the next question is simply this. How much longer do you give either TPUSA and or Erika? How much? Do you believe anybody really believes her bullshit story anymore? No. If you're at Hillsdale College and you're getting maybe you just haven't followed it that much. A lot of people just don't know any better. And you're given this, I don't know, this degree, and you're asked to, be this is your guess. Well, you're happy you got a degree. What the hell are you gonna do? Give them a hard time? No. You're gonna scream and yell? No. You're not gonna do that. You're just gonna do your thing. Now, the question is, and this is important. The question is, what do you think this is about? What do you think this is all about? And when will it come to an end? This can't go on forever. Those people, those rat bastards, those individuals, they're going to say, listen, because they're going to look at the money, they're going to say, I don't know where, we got to get rid of it. We got to ditch the dits. How do we do it? I don't know. How do we do it? I don't know how you do it, but we've got to do it. We got to figure it out. Do we ask her? She won't go. You think she'll go? No. It's not about money. She's set. Don't worry about money. The life insurance and all this stuff. Make her an offer. She doesn't want that. Let me ask you something. Give me one word to describe what she wants. Ladies in particular, what? Give me one word to define her. Just say Julie says, one of my friends despises Candace Owens and the fact that I'm supportive of her. He claims that he doesn't have an opinion of her, a reason not to like her. So what is it? What is it? Isn't it weird? What is it? I remember people would say, it's almost like TDS, where people hated Trump. You say, but what do you not like about Trump? What is it that you don't like? What's the thing you don't like? What is it? Well, they don't know. When was it? I never went into this thing. I always liked Candace, but I never knew what she was capable of. I never knew how smart she was. Maybe I should have followed her. I don't know. I found I don't know what it was. It was the weirdest thing. I was trying to think the other day. It's like, how did I even find her? I didn't really care so much about the Macron thing. It's interesting. I like the way she went after the head of the Black Lives Matter. I think she went to the home, one of the many homes of this Colors. Her name was Colors. Interesting, no pun intended. I remember there was a thing where she was like with Kanye. Kanye has a lot of good things about him, but he's like Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes talks a lot of shit. And so did Kanye. I love that Candace was just confirmed with St. Joan of Arc as her saint. Father Ripperger said she's Satan's nemesis and terrifies the demons. I love that. Joan of Arc. My confirmation name was Thomas, after Thomas Aquinas. La-di-da. Most people don't even know about confirmation. They don't know it. They know the communion, but the confirmation is kind of like there's a communion, just in case, just to remind you of what you do. It's like they like you to just to affirm They don't want you just to, say it. They want you to really believe what you're saying. But I was thinking, I just listened to her. I said, it's very good. I like the way she did her thing. There are people that see, I'm able to listen to somebody and say, I like what he said here, but not this, but like this. And I don't really have a thing about him or them. Kanye's brilliant. Cat Williams is beyond brilliant. He's the KRS-One, so to speak. But as long as he's not smoking dope. If he's smoking dope, he's not worth a damn. He's talking gibberish. But when he has a few drinks with Shannon Sharp, that was one of the best. That was one of the most wonderful conversations ever. But there are these people that so I don't like not everything they say is. But when Charlie died, and then I'm trying to think, where did but the first thing I heard with Candace, I said, whoa, wait a minute. I like this. I didn't know who TPUSA was. I didn't know any of this stuff. It took me no time to figure out, oh, I got it. Oh, yeah. They had him whacked. Somebody did. See, that's the thing I don't understand. Did you see BB, was it today, when he picks up the phone? He says, and you know what the problem is? This. So what is he going to do? Get Palantir to undo everything? This guy doesn't know what to do. These are some of the most stupid things. I liked Mad Men. I don't think I ever saw a whole episode, but I like the concept because advertising. How do you sell something? How do BB sell Israel? How does TPUSA sell TPUSA? What did they do? They don't even talk about Charlie. And for them to have the Charlie Kirk show was blasphemous. And you have these other people too. And then I had no idea about Candace. About Erika. And no clue who she was. I'm listening to Candace go, this is great. And then all of a sudden, the first time I saw her, what got me, I told you this a million times, when she lay on top of that body, I said, she is a conniving, for her to extol, to embellish, to push her husband's death. Couldn't believe it. And then it was off to the races. Then I was hooked. Loved her style, loved her message, loved her thing. And then they went after her. Oh, that's when I'm really hooked. When somebody is targeted, I'm there. I am for not the underdog, because she's not an underdog, but I'm for the person who is targeted. I'm for the person who is made to sound like the fool, like the idiot, like the, you know what I mean? I'm always after that person. I'm for that person. Whoever it is, that's who I'm after. And as soon as it went after her, I was done. And then I get into it and say, holy shit. We got a case here. See, this is the thing. Remember Casey Anthony? Casey Anthony killed her daughter. Absolutely. Casey Anthony killed her daughter. Kaylee. Poor little girl. Remember that? Do I know it? Well, I know it, but... And I was on TV at the time, and I said, she's going to be found not guilty. And they were going to kill me. I said, no, you don't understand. I don't want her to be found not guilty. She'll be found not guilty because there's no evidence. She didn't confess, and they found a skull. And the skull doesn't tell you even if it's a homicide. And if it's not a homicide, it's not murder one, and that's it. End of discussion. Couldn't remember, there's the 4 types of death. NASH, N-A-S-H, the acronym. Natural, accidental, suicide, homicide. And that's what it was very, very, very matter of fact, very, very cut and dry. I thought, this makes the most sense. Everybody will certainly understand what I'm saying. People went crazy because they thought I was saying and I said, you idiots don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want this to be. I'm telling you this is what will happen because there's no evidence. Like in the case here, whether you like Tyler or not, there's no evidence. I don't care if it's Hitler. There's no evidence. We're not going to make things up because we know. Of course she killed it. Of course. Who else? But there's no such thing as who else. That's not beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. The second one was George Zimmerman. Remember Trayvon Martin? Oh, they went berserk. I said, he's going to be found not guilty because of Florida stand your ground law and the fact that this guy was a thug. And this guy went after her. And I thought this guy shouldn't have had a gun in the first place, but he did, and it was legal. What are you going to do? They went crazy. Sure enough. Got it. Because I know how they get. It's not the game, it's the rules. And I'm telling you right now, if that jury finds him guilty, they're going to have to make up stuff. They're going to have to be bought off or threatened or something because there's no evidence. There's no evidence. And it's something which, I'm sorry, whether you like it or not, that's just the way. That's tough luck. Tough titties, said the kitty when the milk went dry. That's the way it goes. Period. And I'm going to stick to this damn thing. And I don't know where, and I want all these people to fall. And I want to see that thing. I want to see all those miserable bastards who went after her. I mean, I want them to be, and I want to see Ben Shapiro. I want to see the Daily Wire shut down. I want to see I want the name Ben Shapiro to be like Shinola. You remember that? You don't know shit from Shinola. The poor Shinola coming. Remember what Shinola was? It was before my time, but it was called a boot black. It was a shoe polish. And then now there's a Shinola coming. Now they're popular as a leather or something. But the point is, this Shinola, the name was like, oh no. How many of you remember something? There was a candy called AIDS, AIDS. It was in a green, it was like I don't know what the hell it was, like a appetite suppressant or something. But AIDS candy, it was a candy thing. It was AIDS. Let that sink in. AIDS, AIDS. I just thought about it. AIDS. It was a popular brand of appetite suppressant candies, marketed in the 40s for the 80s. Uses benzocaine initially, later other. Okay. The problem, as you can imagine, was at the very time AIDS, AIDS was out, there happened to be this pesky, withering, debilitating, lethal disease by the same name. Mr. Lionel, YouTube is censoring me. Please read my text in chat in 2 minutes, please. In 2 minutes? What does this mean? Well, they didn't. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. So anyway, most propitious in the negative way was this idea people would say, hey, Joe, you look pretty good. You lost weight. How'd you do it? AIDS. Horrible. I want that to be the name Ben Shapiro. I want the name Ben Shapiro to be like AIDS, the candy, or Shinola. Or people say, oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Oh, no, not Ben Shapiro. No. Ben, thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ben. Have you seen these people who go on Piers Morgan? I despise the Piers Morgan show. It's stupid, but it's always in my YouTube rotation. And I'll look and they'll see on it, see who's on it. Have you ever seen anybody represent, and I think this is unfair, unless it's on purpose, anybody who's represented the Israeli position that was anything short of obnoxious? Did you ever see anybody? No. Does he do this on purpose or do they not exist? Certainly there's got to be somebody there who says, well, I have a moderate approach. Well, you might say, okay. No, each person does more than anything to destroy the very cause they're trying to maintain or that they're trying to uphold. It's bizarre. These people are just obnoxious. And they don't seem to know. Colvin, Ben Shapiro, Erika. And when I heard Bibi talking about the phone, I was like, no, no, what are you doing? You're basically telling people you're gonna what? You're gonna censor their phones. No, don't say that. Why are you doing? Who's telling you? Who's telling you to say this? Who is telling you to say this? You're right. Ben Shapiro is unlikable. You know, sometimes there's somebody who's like, well, Mark Levin, he's off the charts. Nona's fave says, Barron's timeline was so impactful. It left my spirit unsettled. Absolutely. And it also made me realize this has got to be presented on charts in the courtroom to show that somebody's lying or somebody's very, very sloppy or somebody's negligent or somebody's something. It's a lot of things going on there, but they're sloppy and they're negligent. It's just, So my question is, one word to describe Erika. One word. You have one word. Think about it. Don't just think. What word describes who she is? What is it? What is it? What is the word? To me, she's artificial, slime bag, unhinged, pageantry, disingenuous, that's very good. Covert narcissist, that's two. Vacuous, absolutely. Imposter, very good. Poser, P-O-S-E-U-R, opportunist, yep. Insincere, lost. Succubus, not duplicitous, absolutely. Not very smart either. Insincere, 100%. Fraud, empty. See what this is? Isn't that something? What is this? What is this thing? It's incredible. Self-absorbed, fraud, bad actress, performative, psychic, programmed, counterfeit, sprankulated, foobar, I like that, pathetic, Manchurian, not even that, ditzy, yes, farce, sloth or sloth, opportunist, vapid, again, two vapids, I call very good, vapid, void, vacant, insipid. She's created for this. Psychic. She's a psychic or a psychotic. Disgraceful. CIA asset. Oh, dear God. CIA. Ungrateful. Yes, Kimmy. Yes. Demon needs meds. Disgusting. Occult. Screwy. Juicy. Psychotisk. I like this. Asset. This is wonderful. This is funny. Fed slop. Have you heard about Fed jacketing? Have you heard this new one today? Fed jacketing. This is idea of the feds. And we are so, how do I say this? We are so attuned to this. We are so amenable to this kind of thinking that we go out of our way and look. We somehow go, we kind of look for it. Because we recognize what it is. We recognize it is something that is beyond. We don't believe things. We are the worst. I want to say generation. I'm going to put this all in one generation. We are the worst generation, the worst group to try to pull one on us. You can't. We're the worst. We will call bullshit faster than anybody's business. What do you think the prosecutor's doing right now? Somebody's got to be saying, and I'm telling you, I'm going to say this one more time. I didn't ask, Barron never told me, I never asked him before, and I made me, but nobody ever said, listen, we just send an investigator, just talk to him. Maybe he's got something. Why would you not, somebody who's poured through the timelines, why would a defense lawyer say, I'll talk to anyone? I will talk to anyone. The federal government used Sammy the Bull as a rat to get Gotti. You use anything, anybody. And if somebody has collated, Barron didn't make up these facts. he took them and reviewed them. He did it. He even went and found out what degrees were offered by whatever this university was. They found out they don't have the degrees. I mean, this guy, nobody else is doing this. You don't think anybody at CBS is going to be doing it? Hell no. Barry Weiss, nobody's going to be doing that. Do not lose faith, my friend. Do not lose faith. To many folks, this is your first rodeo. This is your first 9/11. This is your first JFK. This is your first whatever it is. And you're seeing what happens. And for the first time ever, we're seeing the most incredible, the most assiduous, the most focused and determined and targeted and dedicated group of deep divers anybody has ever seen before. It's like nothing that can be put into context. And leading the pack, the person who brought it all together was Candace. Candace brought all of us together. Do you ever think about that? I didn't know about Barron. Many of you didn't know about me. I didn't know about you. I didn't know about Colin or Fredo or Fekete or anybody. I didn't know anybody. This Nissi is very good too. Nissi, very good. Very good. And they're all different types. Men, women, black, white, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The last day debate, nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about this. If we had this amount of attention, this kind of intellectual firepower, this momentum, we'd go after the myth, the lies about this Iranian war. And let me tell you something. This won't be the last time because we're not going to disband after this. After the case, after the trial, after whatever happens to Tyler, when what's-her-name quits and TPUSA folds, we're not going away. We're not going away. Promise me you're not going to go away. Promise we turn this into a military, not a military, well, maybe, no, a political action. They're going after Thomas Massie. They want him so bad. Is there anybody here who's perfect? Anybody here who's not a sinner? Anybody? Oh, Shabby Chic. Shabby Chic, very, very good. Very, very good. I like her. Excellent. And by the way, in the other groups, Judge Napolitano, Mearsheimer, you know the others as well. Phenomenal. Excellent, 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 excellent. And by the way, people who a year ago I would have said, they're lefties. And I don't. Not anymore. Not anymore. But we've got to get a political momentum. You see, what's happening is when Massie went on Tucker, he was doing really poorly. He was being outspent. He was winning by about like 75% every election. And all of a sudden, the Israeli, not the Jewish, but the Israeli-esque AIPAC and others went after him. And they were going to teach him a lesson. He was like ahead by just a point. Then all of a sudden, what does he do? He doesn't go on Fox News, of course not. He doesn't go on he goes on Tucker. And overnight, it explodes. Overnight, he gets more money than you can imagine. And he made the biggest splash you can imagine. I'm telling you, because of what? Because of Tucker. This is it. To spend an hour. You know what that did? Think about that. They could drop $10, $20, $30 million. I think they paid more in this congressional campaign. And it took one appearance on one show. And do you know what that does? Let me just say something. Do you know what that means? This scares the shit out of these people. Say, It's not supposed to be like this. No. And I'm not saying she's going to do it. But if she said, I want you to do me a favor. You don't have to do it, my friends, but I want each of you to give $1 to my... You didn't see my previous super chat. Hang on. We're going to get it. Let me look for it. Let me look for it. Just a minute. I'm going to look for it. Just a second. Maybe you can perhaps rephrase it in a way. Maybe spell things differently. Maybe I got to go through all these. I'm looking for it. See, I can't. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to try my best. You're very kind enough to do something in the first place. Maybe somebody might want to maybe copy it for me. Would you? I don't know where this is. We got a lot of names here. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm looking for this. I know that. See, the reason why I can't do this is it slows now. I'm so sorry. Maybe perhaps you can rephrase it. What exactly can you not say? I don't understand something. If you say something, spell it out. I don't know. I've never done this. But anyway, I thank you. I will look for this later. By the way, you can always email me at lionel@lionelmedia.com and I will read it myself. You understand this? So thank you very much, Love Move. If Candace Owens said, I want each of you to give $1. She has 6 million people. You don't have to do this, but Thomas Massey needs us. Let's say, for example. We said, okay. And all of a sudden, boom. Wow. But it's not the dollars. ER is a petty version of Sloth from the Goonies. Erika? ER? Me, EK? Erika? Anyway, Olivia, is that it? In any event, my dear, spelling in Pig Latin, yes. It's not so much the money that she would raise, it's the momentum. Because what happened was people would start to report on it. See, the thing is, I want everybody in that district to vote. I don't even want your money. I want your vote. And eventually it's going to happen. Well, I said, I will email you because my comments are too long. Please do. Please do. Please do. In any event, my friends, look at this. I sent Matthew $25, even though I'm in Virginia. Anybody that they go after, it's got to be doing something right. And you're going to hear all this stuff about he did this and women this and that. Okay. I guess we want, I don't know. I just don't believe anything. If you tell me you're bucking the trend, notice I said that very carefully. I mean that. So my friends, I thank you. I thank you. Thank you for this. Here we go. Susie says, Bride of Charlie is a trained seductress, unable to play another role. She's personally free, soulless, devoid of humanity. I think you're right about this. And I also think maybe that might be the succubus part of it. She is somebody who I think rocked his clock. And sometimes I think if he was not sexually experienced, he might have said, this is great. It's happened before. So Nonna's fave says, you make my heart smile still. Thank you. That's the nicest thing you could imagine. That's the nicest thing anybody could say. Thank you. Your fart sounds make me laugh. Thank you so much for that. Even Fredo was trying to do. There's nothing funnier than this. I know people say, oh, you're childish. Why does everybody laugh? Why does everybody laugh? Why? The Garrison, hang on. Garrison says, please opine on foreign-born governor candidate, foreign-born governor candidate, California. I will do that next time. I will do that next time. I will do that. I thank you so much. Listen, we love you. And on behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you. And I thank Candace for you. And thank you for Candace. I thank all of this. And we remember together, we are like the sticks of the fasces. The reason why the fasces is they're a bunch of sticks. When you put them together and you bind them, then they become stronger. That's who we are. I mean it. There are many, many, many metaphors that explain the collective power of who we are. So, my friends, I thank you. Please like the videos. Subscribe to the channel. I'm on my way to pick my wife up. She was in DC all day today. Walking and walking. She shows me her phone. She walks like you can't believe. She outwalks everybody. Fighting. There was a bill. I'm going to have her on. I want her to explain this to you. I know I'm going to have her on one night because she's got to tell you, because she never stops fighting for kids. I'm telling you that. Don't ever let anybody make you think it's not better at all. It's not better. But Trump is, I think he got rid of that Sachs, that rat bastard. And he's got to know the truth about Palantir and others. But anyway, we're going to do this. I got to go pick her up. I thank you, my friends. Have a great and a beauteous and a glorious day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your contributions, for your love, for everything. Remember, we are a collective. We are our own murmuration. So, my friends, I always ask you right now to please do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams. We're getting this close to 400,000. I thank you for this. And please follow Lynn's Warriors. Please follow. Oh, look at this. How beautiful is this? I love you. And I love you too, Missy. I love you too. You are incredible. I mean that. You're like this new, I know this sounds really corny, but it's true. You're like a new family. You know what I mean? From the bottom of my heart. Don't make me cry. All right, my friends, I love you. Follow Lynn's Warriors. We'll talk tomorrow. Have a great and a glorious day. And until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.